You know, just don't have no mercy in this land. Just don't have no mercy in this land. In this land, yeah. Come to your house, you know, don't take long. Why? You look in the bed this morning, children find that your family's gone. I said, just don't have no mercy, no mercy in this land.
I love dead, hate living.
I used to draw pictures of the Frankenstein monster over and over, you know, endlessly in different positions. I think part of it had to do with the thing of being afraid the first time I saw it, the thing of it having that power of fear over me.
He's one of the strangest tales ever told. He deals with the two great mysteries of creation, life and death.
My mother, I think, must have taken me to see it. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. In 1948, I guess that was. I was 6 years old. My father had died the previous year in 47. So that also made it kind of a heavy time in my life emotionally. That was another big reason for my clamping onto it, kind of. That power of fear. I think there was some desire on my part to embrace that, to not let that control me that way. That whole business evoked something very strong. And it hit me in that archetypal center. You know, boom, you know, dong, you know. That was my first sense of, there are things in this world that are really weird. I don't think I knew that before I saw that movie, that there are things that are really weird and there are people who are concerned with them. That became important to me, and I guess I thought to myself on some level, I think I want to be concerned with things that are weird. I think that seems like fun.
It's a real challenge, if you're not already a Deadhead, to love the Grateful Dead, because there's so much distraction. But if you ignore the rabid fans and ignore the entire lack of all the expected elements of American entertainment, then you will find there's a richness that fills your soul. The Grateful Dead explored freedom. And they were the cutting edge of a phenomenal re-examination of American values. For me, the Grateful Dead is the most American of all bands because each musician that started that band came from a completely different place musically. And they somehow managed to make it work. You got a bluegrass banjo player, you got a blues harmonica player, you got a folky guitarist, R&B drummer, you got a avant-garde classical composer picking up the bass, and not long after that, a marching band drummer. And, oh, by the way, a genius lyricist who created in his lyrics a non-literal hyper-Americana. And they take all these streams and you dissolve egos with acid and you stir vigorously. That's Grateful Dead music.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I spent most of my adult life as a biographer to the Grateful Dead. How this happened was, in 1971, the Grateful Dead put out an album. On the back of it, it said, Dead Freaks Unite, who are you, how are you, connect with us. They had set up a post office box in San Rafael. Then I had just written this book about Kerouac. So I sent a copy of the book to Jerry and changed my life. Kerouac was Jerry's great hero. Reading on the road was absolutely an essential part of his growing up.
He really means something to me. That's that thing of the typewriter rolls, you know? I mean, that's so much like my way of thinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just like, put it out there.
Like
right?
a record, you know, that's what you want a record to be, you know, no starts and stops and, you know, none of that shit. That seamless stuff, you know, that just, it works. For me, that stuff works. And other people, it doesn't work more, but for me, it works.
I have never encountered a mind like that. And that's really what was compelling to me, was the way his mind worked, you know? That's why I went for it then, and then 30 years later again, and probably why I'm sitting here now. I read On the Road at age 14, before I started high school. The beatnik world, it was so much a part of who I was and everywhere I went.
Well, there was a bookstore
It was in Menlo Park.
and a coffee bar called Kepler's. And in that bookstore, one was liable to run across all kinds of other people who were 18, 19 years old, hanging out reading On the Road or the Dharma Bums,
Allen Ginsberg,
Ferlinghetti,
Kenneth Patchen,
Howell,
all the poetry,
Eastern mysticism,
Buddhism,
left-wing politics.
all of that. It was all going down.